guess you might have heard me. Welcome to Christie's Corner, where we talk about culture, conservatism, Christianity, and common sense. I forgot to turn on the light. There it is. Let there be light. Hi, welcome, Anthony Mark. I'm so glad you're here and in the chat. I was asking him earlier, if you guys are just listening and not looking at the chat, I was asking him what he wanted to talk about tonight, and he said, how about the Boston raids? And I said, do tell. And so I looked it up real quick, and of course it's about that 370 illegal immigrants are now on, they're either already in El Salvador or on their way or whatever. Isn't it crazy? Is it okay? Who else agree? Oh wait, Christie's Corner, culture, conservatism, Christianity, and common sense. Thank you, my subscribers. You guys so rock. I am so glad y'all are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome into the chat. Please let us know what you're thinking, what's going on. Becky, I was thinking earlier today. Does anybody else feel like we have stepped through a time warp, or that we are in an alternate universe? So the Boston raids that Anthony Mark is talking about in the chat there right now, 370 illegals deported. That's a good thing. Not only are they illegals that were deported, and yes, I know about the one outlier who I don't think he was here illegal. Who cares? Who cares? But anyway, these guys are bad guys, and now they're gone. They're bad guys, and now they're gone. That is a good thing. It is not that hard to run a city. It's not that hard to run a community. It is not that hard or difficult to do the next right thing. Goodness gracious. And that's where I should have put that in the description. I really feel like I've stepped into an alternative universe. And where good is up, where good is bad, up is down, left is right, blue is green. The Boston mayor. So Anthony Mark is bringing up how hard Democrats are making it for us. I say it's not that hard to run a country. It's not that hard to run a city. It's not that hard to run a community. It's really just about following the rules. And the rules were laid out for us more than 6,000 years ago. And it wasn't just Judeo-Christian communities that laid out the rules. Hammurabi's code was very, very similar to the 10 Commandments. And that's from the Fertile Crescent, folks, where writing was first discovered. This is not difficult. Down is that right song? So in the chat, Anthony Mark says in the comics, it's called Bizarro World. Bizarro? Yeah, Bizarro World, where up is down and right is left and left is, okay, let's do conspiracy theory for just a second, just for a moment. We got CERN going on over there in Switzerland. And there's a lot of people who feel, we know, we have it on tape. We have the people in their own voices saying that not only are they trying to open multiple dimensions, and not only are they trying to send something through if they can get multiple dimensions opened, but they're hoping something will come back. Well, and of course, the rumors are that something already has come back. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Mandela effect. I don't buy all of it, but my goodness gracious, when I start looking around at what's really going on right here, right now, and I see these Democrats coming out so hard against common sense and against our safety and our sovereignty, our national interest, how can you not think that we're in an alternate universe? Y'all know I'm a Christian. And you know that I'm working on really, it's going to be kind of another channel that I'm going to do nothing but Christianity on that channel, and prophecy and nothing but that. But so in my belief system, I believe that we're coming up. I believe Jesus is coming back. Jesus is going to come back as he promised in Matthew 24. So for me, I have always watched for the New World Order and those kinds of conspiracies, because I believe that the hugest conspiracy of them all has been playing out since Eve ate the apple, and that we're living it right now. So I don't want to go too far off into that. Let's do Bizarro World where we're at right now. All right. So I did make some notes for the show tonight. Obviously, I'm in Texas and Troy is not with me. So hopefully he'll be in the chat. He's out running my dogs for me right now. I miss my guys. They're actually girls. I miss them. Man, I'll tell you what, my Rottweiler Labrador mutt is turning into quite a formidable little girl. She is gotten quite protective of her mama, and I'm so proud of her. Uh, my other dog is a Husky Blue Heeler mutt, and she, yeah, and she is, she's still learning how to be a dog. She's a year old, and she's still a little off. And of course, I traveled so much last year, the first year of her life, and that kind of threw her off. But she's coming around. She's coming around. She's going to be fine. Shelby's teaching her well. Um, yeah. So define the Democrat mayor. Did I hear the story right today, you guys? That they went into court while there was an illegal in court for something. I don't know what. Maybe for being illegal. I don't know. But they went into court. ICE went into court and arrested him in court. Did I get that story right? I'm definitely going to look it up after the show. I've been thinking about that today and forgot to look it up. And obviously, I haven't been listening to the news all day today. Okay, so yeah, one specific person was picked up on the court, correct, in court. I thought so. And is that, are the liberals going berserk over that? Isn't that the one the lady says, where are you taking him? Where are you taking him? We're kicking him out of the country. That's where we're taking him or her, whoever it was. If you're here illegal, go home. It's that simple. If you came in, if you thought the door was open because of our last president and another one before him, not Trump, but the one before that, Obama. If you thought Obama and Biden opened up the gates and everything was okay and the law didn't matter, you're sorely mistaken. The law does matter. The law matters. If you're here illegally, go home on your, as Kristi Noem has advertised all over the world now. If you're here illegal and you have bad intent, you will be caught and you will not have a chance to come back. If you're here legally and you want to be part of the American dream, this society that has been built on the most amazing ideas that has for 6,000 years, the 5,000 year leap, this country, if you want to be part of the American dream, go home and come back. Get in line. Quit trying to skip the line. Quit trying to break the rules. Go home. We don't want you if you're going to be detrimental to our society. And we do want you if you want to contribute. We do want you. High Trust Society. Okay, wait a minute. Dame Piglet. Oh my gosh, are you in here? Oh, hi, lady. How are you tonight? Good to see you. So welcome aboard. So good to see you. We are talking about illegals and deportation. I guess you've been here. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Dame Piglet's Chihuahua Patterdale Terrier Mutt. It's a picture of your piggy do. Oh, so cool. Thanks for sharing that. Oh my goodness. Well, you didn't miss me tonight. You got me tonight. I put the notice on early today so that I would hopefully be have some folks in the people wouldn't keep missing me. It's a little warm in here, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm kind of hot. I found my fans at home and I left them up down there at home. Yeah, welcome, Piggy Doo. No doubt. No doubt. So glad you're here. Okay, so freedom. How do we keep it? That was what I put in the description. I want y'all's ideas on this. I came up with a couple of lines here before we go back to the deportation. Information. I think information is one of our most important tools in order to help us keep free. The famous quote of Benjamin Franklin after the Philadelphia Convention. After the Philadelphia Convention, and the lady asked him, "What did you give us, sir?" And he said, "A republic, ma'am, if you can keep it." And what did he mean? What did the founders talk about so incessantly? Education, that we have to be an informed and moral society if we're going to govern ourselves. That's why I kept saying earlier, it's not that hard. All you have to do is put the rules in place and follow the rules. It's not that hard. Yes, we mess up. We're people. We screw it up left and right. Of course we do. Of course we do. But this is not that difficult, folks. This is really not that difficult. So I put information top of the list. Bravery. I love what Alex Jones, filter him. I always filtered him. I love what he used to say about being a patriot. And I couldn't find the quote. I'll find it and put it up on the description. But it was about It's very easy to be a patriot when everybody else is being one. It's very difficult to be a patriot when it's unpopular and what you believe, the freedoms that you believe in, and the self governance that you believe in, everyone else wants to go along with. Let's do it the easy way. It's very difficult. But a real patriot is one who stands up no matter what the circumstances are, that no matter what's going on, he will know, he will stand up for himself. You guys, my place where I'm staying is texting me right now, and I think they know. All right. Oh, okay. It's just for dinner. Dinner. I guess they forgot I'm doing the show. Thanks. I'll eat dinner later. I already ate some fruit. So bravery, information, risk. I love how Greg Gutfeld, have y'all been noticed? He's talking about sharing the risk and how the comedians on his show and that he's had throughout the whole Biden administration, how they they shared the risk together, but basically by themselves, they took the risk of standing up for patriotism and common sense and not going along with that ridiculous wokeness that was killing our country, killing common sense. They stood up. They shared the risk. I love how he says that. They shared the risk. Which makes me think of that Alex Jones quote of the bravery it takes to continue to be a patriot, even when it gets unpopular. Because you know what, guys? We're going to ride this wave and it's going to go well. And the golden age is coming. It is on its way. I believe that with all my heart and soul. But in order to hang on to it and not lose it, we have to stay vigilant. We have to remember what it was like with under Biden and Obama and anyone else like them. And gosh, we got to look at our European brothers and sisters and help them. They are in so much trouble. They are losing their right to speak. I was in London in 2000, I want to say 16. I think it was a 2016 trip. And I went to a social gathering. And guys, I'm not wealthy. I'm just this little social gathering. And this lady was talking about how she had just gotten out of jail for saying something against the Islamic religion. She had said it out loud and they arrested her and took her to jail. And she had just gotten out. Now, she was a little crazy kind of sounding, or perhaps it was just her English accent. I don't know. Yeah, France, it is happening so fast. But anyway, this was like 2016. And I remember thinking, okay, is this lady a little crazy or is it really that bad already? And guess what? It's that bad. It was that bad then. And it is even worse now. Look at Tommy Robbins. Is it Robbins or Robinson? Tommy Robinson from Ireland. That poor man. How long was he in jail? 18 months? Something like that? For speaking the truth, for saying that his society was being overrun by something. Now, obviously, YouTube will strike me if I get into that too much, so I can't go too far with it. 18 months, yep. Yeah, Western Europe. I mean, so the cradle of civilization, we know, I said Hammurabi code, and I said law, and the Judeo-Christian values that we all stand on. The 10 Commandments are what our laws are based on. But then we had Greece. Greece came along, what, 300, 400, I guess 700 BC, but around 300 BC, it became the cultural center of the world. And Alexander the Great conquered so much. And of course, I'm not bringing in Genghis Khan and all that stuff, but Western civilization, that was the beginning of Western civilization. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry, y'all. I was reading the chat. So in the chat, Anthony Mark talks about his neighborhood is now almost completely Chinese and Muslim, and it's hard to believe they're all here legally. Probably not. But you know what? I'm not kidding you guys. Pam Bondi's not joking around. Kristi Noem is not joking around. This administration is not joking around. I don't want to see us become. Nobody wants a vigilante society, and nobody wants a totalitarian society, and no one wants a plutocracy, an oligarchy, and all these words that everybody's throwing around now. If everyone just look up the word oligarchy, it means rule of the few, rule by the few. what have we had for, let's see, since about 1963? I think 1963, a lot of people feel that John F. Kennedy was the last duly and freely elected president. And I agree with that. I think there was a coup d'etat at that time. And I've been reading about, with all of this judiciary, let's see, Trump has assembled a great team. Oh, so true. So true. Oh, the chat's lighting up tonight. It's so true. The team around Trump. So the news right now, we've got judicial tyranny that we're seeing, right? These judges that are trying to stop him in his tracks. The judges that are trying to stop Trump in his tracks have not just far-reaching implications. They are absolutely, it is clear that it's judicial tyranny. Clear. And people aren't talking enough on the news about the fact that the only judges that were provided for in the Constitution is the Supreme Court, those 9 judges. The rest of it's up to the states. So who's got to fix this? Each state has got to fix this, right? So who do we send to Washington, D.C.? Our representatives. Who can fix this? Our state representatives that we send to Washington, D.C. We got to be all over their rear ends. But it's not just that. It's our state representatives here in each state as well. I'm going to read the chat here again. Trump has assembled a great team. Everyone agrees. Trump must keep appealing to the higher courts. Agreed. I couldn't agree with that more. But the higher courts, everyone's expecting the Supreme, not to argue with you, Anthony. You're absolutely right. He's got to keep those appeals coming. Keep it coming. Slam it. But I talked to my friend the other day, and we were talking about this judicial tyranny topic. And one of the things I learned a long time ago, and it's not because I'm a Sue person, it was from a TV show. I heard a TV show quote Shakespeare, and the quote was, and it's not an exact quote, it's paraphrase, "First kill all the lawyers." And it was some Lifetime TV show back in the 90s or 80s or whatever. But that quote stuck with me. It really stuck with me. Why would Shakespeare say that? What is the implication of that? First kill all the lawyers. And so I've thought about it ever since, of course. And the one thing that I take away from that is that lawyers won't sue lawyers. They're shooting themselves in the foot if they do. So once they get power, real power, it's really hard to undo that from them. It's one of the reasons we had the revolution to begin with. It was not just taxation without representation. That was part of it. But it was also corrupt judges and courts who would do whatever the king said, no matter what. Why? They would be killed if they didn't. That's tyranny. That's totalitarianism. I'm learning so much from this book that I'm reading. Where did I do with it? I'll put it right here in the chair. I'm learning so much from this Politically Incorrect Guide to the Constitution. It's really, really a good book. I definitely recommend it. Who made the Constitution? Revolution and Confederation. What made the Constitution? Revolution and Confederation. Confederation of colonies. Anyway, I won't do it tonight. I thought very seriously about getting that deal going. Hey, Cruz, we got Cruz in the chat. What's going on, girl? How are you? Hope I can say girl, guy, whatever. I know who you are. Anyway, welcome. Glad you're here, girl. We're talking about the judicial tyranny going on. What do you think about it, Cruz? What are we going to do about these judges? How are we going to stop this? Trump stepped into a buzzsaw in 2016 in his first term. And, we've talked about it lots of times, how he really didn't know who to trust. And he really didn't know. He just trusted the wrong people is what he says. That's in his own words. He trusted the wrong people. And he had 4 years. It's so wonderful. Don't y'all agree that it's so wonderful that there was a 4-year break and he had time to regroup? Man, I think that was a divine appointment. It's bad what Biden did, but you know what? All that stuff was going on anyway. The doors weren't wide open at our border like they became under Biden. But the rest of that bad stuff was happening anyway. For a long time, it's been happening. Cruz says the Supreme Court will put a stop to this judicial tyranny. And I agree. I'm hoping, I don't really agree. I hope the Supreme Court has enough sense to put a stop to this, because if they don't, we are, look at the razor thin margin we have in Congress right now. Look at, I mean, in one way, if the Democrats had common sense and were actually caring about our country, it would kind of be a good thing, wouldn't it? We'd be half and half. It'd kind of be a good thing. You'd kind of want a razor thin margin. But that's not the Democrat Party today, is it? And it's not just those few. And if it is, if they're, you know, people like Josh Shapiro, speak up, for goodness sakes, rein in this insanity. We want a healthy debate. We do. Healthy debate, not insanity. Anyway, Cruz, she says the Supreme Court will stop it. I'm so hoping. He wanted to play nice. Here we go from the chat. Piggy Doo says, Trump wanted to play nice and discovered you can't do that with ruthless and morally bankrupt people. So true. Piggy Doo, that is so true. He did try to play nice. You know, everybody said, why didn't he lock her up? And he said, because he didn't want to keep that kind of nonsense going. He wanted to put a stop to it. Let's move forward and do the next right thing. Let's be moral, as Piggy Doo just said. Let's be a moral and upright, high society. Or how did she say it earlier? Oh, I love how she said it earlier. A safe society, high trust society, high trust society. I love that, Piggy Doo. That is so awesome. When you have judicial tyranny and you have the problem of, if you're going to get judges to stop judges, and that's really them shooting themselves in the foot, then what comes next? I mean, how do you step in and stop it? I think Congress is going to have to be the ones, and half of them are lawyers. So, yeah, Cruz is right. Trump learned the hard way that you cannot trust these guys. So, yeah, guys, I don't know. We got to keep on it. We've got to, I know the only thing that we can keep doing in our little corner of the world is to keep our side of the street clean and to stay on our politicians. You know, none of us wanted to be politically involved, did we? Not that much. I didn't. I was interested. I love history. I love talking about stuff. But I don't want to do anything. I want to do my own thing. I want to go play. I want to go play softball. Speaking of softball, we're going to talk about those bats. What are they called? Oh, what are they called? Wait a minute. Torpedo bats. Oh, I got to talk about that. Anyway, I want to play. I want to have fun. I want to live on my land. I want to play with my dogs and my husband, and I hang out. And guess what? We just can't. Not anymore. There's too much going on. Too much at stake. Too much at stake. All right, so I'm gonna leave that topic for a minute. Let's talk about the torpedo bats. Does anybody want to talk about that? What do you think about that? Baseball is my favorite sport. I'm not a big football fan. I know a lot about it, but let's see if we can do. That's the problem, I think. Here we go. From the chat, you guys. They don't think the way we do, but you're 100% right. The best we can do is work hard locally. Yep. Yeah, you're a little behind in the chat. That's okay. That's fine, Piggy Doo. That's fine. Okay, so let me not leave that topic just yet. Let's do a little bit more on the judges and what we can do to fix this situation. Y'all tune in to when I read this. I read it a little too fast last week, and then, a couple weeks ago. And some of you know that I'm dealing with muscle spasms, and it's really been bad, very, very painful. But I got approved for an MRI, and I'm medicated up and iced and heated up and all that right now. So I'm hanging in there. It doesn't matter, sweetheart. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. Anyway, that was for Piggy Doo. So I haven't been posting as much as I normally do, but I'm going to read the book. I got permission from the author to read this book on air. Dr. Kevin P. Gutzman, PhD, and he's excited about me reading it. So even though I don't have a very big audience, we're going to go through it slow because it's fantastic. The Constitution is hard to understand, and I think right now, more than ever, with so much at stake, we have got to study it, understand it, and be able to talk about it with our politicians. They're not studying it. Look at Jasmine Crockett. What in the world is going on with her? Um, it's just insanity. Okay, so you know what? Jasmine Crockett and everyone like her, wouldn't it be nice if the media just stopped talking about them completely? Don't requote them. Don't share their tweets. Don't share their TikTok insane videos. Just forget about them. Let's just move on and not give them any attention whatsoever. They would hate that, wouldn't they? All right, so we got Jasmine Crockett. What I call her? What I call her? Oh, Jasmine. Wait a minute. Oh, Piggy Doo in the chat has another name for Jasmine Crockett, and it's a tool. It's definitely a tool that you have in your toolbox. Jasmine Ratchet. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that, when I love the before. The only thing I said, please just quit talking about her, right? Media, if you're listening, I know you're not, but if you were, please just stop talking about her. Quit giving her any time of day whatsoever. I love how they did not they kind of have learned their lesson and have quit putting serial killers on all the time, or I'm just not watching, not seeing it. It seems like they're giving bad people less publicity, and I think that's a very good thing. Bad people that want publicity and then they get it. That's just feeding the monster, isn't it? No doubt. All right. So all right, baseball bat. Okay, the torpedo bat. Can we talk about the torpedo bat for just a moment? Troy and I were talking about it, and he doesn't like it. So what it is the baseball bat that they have. A physicist came up with this idea, and he moved the wood to be a little bit fatter, a little further towards the middle of the bat, which is the sweet spot where you hit the ball, right? It is right in the middle. And so in the old day, a regular bat, you hit the ball on the end of the bat, middle of the ball, end of the bat, middle of the ball. And here this physicist comes up with, well, that's just dumb. If you put the more wood in the middle where everyone naturally swings, the ball's going to go further. Just trajectory is just going to be better. And 15 home runs comes out from the Yankees in their opening, first three games, something like that. 15 home runs from using these torpedo bats. So what do y'all think about the torpedo bats? Probably no opinion whatsoever, but I am a huge baseball fan, and I'm wondering if my Astros are going to use the torpedo bat, and will they be considered more cheats because of it? All right, so that's the torpedo bats. Okay. Let's talk about, it's hard to hit a baseball. You know what? Cruz in the chat is one of the best softball players I've ever seen. That woman could hit a ball. I played softball for a little while, and I did okay, but nothing like the people I was playing with. I ended up just getting hurt a lot. All right, let's talk about the arrest. When are the arrests going to begin? What do y'all think? What is the holdup? Did you guys see the 5 today? I listened to it. I didn't see it, but Elon was on there. Anthony wanted to talk about Elon earlier. So do I. I want to talk about Elon Musk big time. He said on there tonight, if I heard it correctly, what I heard him say was that they know who is funding these Tesla terrorists, these people that are trying to take down Tesla. They know who's funding them, what group is behind it or whatever. I just wonder if it's Alex Soros. Oh my goodness. Is that his name, Alex? It's George is about to retire. But who's funding this takedown of Tesla and all of these left-wing groups? I think you have to set the Hamas people to the side. I know they're all connected. I know it's all connected. But this Tesla thing, it got so big so quick. And with so many folks that I don't think would have anything to do with Hamas whatsoever. They're not that kind of they don't have that belief system at all. But here they are scratching up Teslas with keys and scratching swastikas on Teslas. What in the world are they thinking? And who is telling them who started this? We know why. Offer a plea deal to the people and get them to reveal who pays them. Excellent suggestion, Anthony Mark. excellent suggestion. Isn't that how they got the mobsters? You arrest the small ones and work up the chain, up the chain, up the chain, turn evidence, turn evidence, turn evidence. Of course, they kill them, right? They kill all the witnesses, but that's a great suggestion. I love that. Offer a plea deal to the people and get them to reveal who pays them. And how big do you think that is, you guys? So is that what y'all heard Elon say today, that they know who it is? And he said, I hope they're watching this show because we're coming after you. So I guess we should watch for who leaves the country tonight. Law and Order does it on TV each week. I bet they do. That's a great prop. They're all going to federal prison. Boy, I hope so. So in the chat, Law and Order, the show, TV show, does it every week and gets the little person to flip on the bigger person, to flip on the bigger person, etc. Yeah, let's hope they go to federal prison. So when are these arrests going to start? Elon made it sound like next week. Maybe they're still gathering evidence. Did you guys see the guy on TikTok who was apologizing? I retweeted it from Anthony. He was apologizing, didn't mean to upset you. He was really against Elon. And the guys go, but did you scratch a swastika on my car? Did you do that? And the guy's like, well, I wasn't doing it to you. I was doing it against Elon. No, sir, that was my car. You did it to me. And it's like the guy didn't even understand that he hurt someone else's property. That's how that's what I mean about stepping into a freaking alternate universe. These people don't seem to have common sense of what. And this particular video, and Anthony Mark just said it's so sad. It is sad. It's not just sad, it's a little nerve-wracking. It makes me a little nervous because if people don't understand reality, goodness gracious. Okay, and where does all that come from? Consequences, right? People not having to pay any consequences for their bad behavior. That's the purple pen, isn't it? Remember when the purple pen came out? Remember when they stopped grading papers with red for F and green for A's? Remember that? Big red F, big green 100 or big green A. And they came out with the purple pen so that the little bitty babies wouldn't be hurt or, man, emotional women running things is not a good thing. I love being a woman. I am so all about femininity is fantastic, but viva la différence. All right. Long live the difference between men and women. Live the difference. And there is a difference. G.I. Jose made it in. Yay. Hey, G.I. Jose, welcome aboard, buddy. So glad you're in the chat. Let's see what he has to say, guys. Hey, y'all, TDS needs to be officially diagnosed so these people can seek help and actually receive some help. I love that. I love that. Jose, Dame Piglet here. They're saying howdy, yay. Yes, TDS needs to be qualified in the psychiatric book of mental disorders and qualified as an actual disease so that it can receive treatment. Anthony Mark saying howdy to Cruz. Yeah, welcome, Cruz. So glad you're here. Wow, so good to see you guys. Smash that like button. Don't forget to smash that like button. I forget to say stuff like that. So when are these arrests going to begin? That's what I love. People with the memes are just going, okay, still waiting for the arrest, still waiting. I'm checking my watch here and nobody's in jail. I guess it has begun, though. It really, to be fair, it has begun by the deportations. With the deportations, we're seeing arrests. We're getting those guys out first. That was first and foremost. Get the killers and the the really bad guys, get them out first. That's first check off the list. I love that. And then second, man, Cruz is on a run, so that means she can't chat much. But thanks for being here, Cruz. I'm so glad you're here. Hope you can stay tuned in. Sorry, guys. Reading the chat. The first thing on the list had to be to clean up this country, get the bad guys out first. So what's second? Obviously, it was Doge. Keep the country from going bankrupt. These guys wanted to bankrupt our country. They wanted to bring us down. Well, of course they did. The globalists wanted to bring down the one country who stands in the way of Ooh, do I say it? Do I say it? I don't know, you guys. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. We're the one bulwark, is that how you pronounce that? Against, we're the one country standing in the way of totalitarianism. We are freedom. We are all about freedom. We absolutely want, we're absolutely the last hill to stand on. We've lost Western Europe. They're in so much trouble, as we talked a little bit earlier. And before we had them, we had an ally with Great Britain. It's always been, you can go into all the conspiracies, and I've done all of them. I have a blast doing conspiracy theories, but to stay in what matters today and how are we going to make a difference with our world today, to me, that's the most important thing. How do I make this little circle do the next right thing? Me first, my family second, and my outside circle after that, my friends and all that. How do we do the next right thing? To me, that's the most important of all. And Dame Piglet said it earlier in the chat. It's about local control. It's about us paying attention to what's going on locally with our local politicians. That's so true. And as I said earlier, I'd much rather be playing softball. My body won't play softball anymore, y'all. No doubt. All right. So earlier today, there was a story about the tariffs coming. Liberation Day. Liberation Day. Let's kind of change topics here for a minute. What do you guys think about the tariffs? I think they're going to work. G.I. Jose, to be truly free in the American sense, all rights that are written down in our Constitution should not be infringed. And any individual who restricts them should face a jury of their peers. You're absolutely right, G.I. Jose. Thank you for putting that in the chat. That is 100% correct. Man, I'm going to do a 100%. Where's the 100%? There it is. All right, 100%. That is so, so true. Yeah, I hope y'all do tune in on. I mean, if y'all want me to, I can start reading from that book tonight. Y'all let me know. Do you want to just keep chatting, or do you want me to read from that book tonight? I'm on page 2. I did the introduction already and did the first page, and I'm on page 2. But anyway, but we can do that another time. It's up to y'all. I'll look at the chat as y'all let me know. So I was talking about the tariffs. The tariffs are going to work. We know that. And the guy from Redland Cotton was on the, Piggy Doo said sure. So we may do that here in just a second. Let me finish these topics. I've just got a couple more and then we'll go on to the book. The tariffs are going to work. The tariffs are going to work. We know that. It's worked before. It's going to work again. I had a client many years ago who, when Trump was running, he thought he was scared to death of Trump. He was just scared to death of him. And I said, why? And he said, well, he's gonna, this thing with China, he's gonna, I like buying my stuff from China. It's cheap. I want to keep getting my stuff from China. I want it to stay cheap. I said, really? Have you ever looked into what is going on over there and what happens in those manufacturing plants? Ever heard of the suicide nets? And he hadn't. He knew nothing about what was going on in China. Y'all, I remember when Pat Buchanan, and I'm a big fan of Pat Buchanan. And by the way, a friend of mine just gave me like 40 books, and 2 of them are by Pat Buchanan. I cannot wait to read them. Rest in peace, dude. Just rest in peace. What a great guy he was for this country. Anyway, freedom lover. Pat Buchanan talked about what a problem it's going to be if we let China in to favored nation status and into the world trade nations. And I'm losing my train of thought there. And it falls apart quick. True. So true. So true. Anyway, if we let China into the global market, what would happen? And what did happen? They were a communist country. They had no sense. Their sense of right and wrong is completely foreign to the Western sense of right and wrong. And if we don't know that by now, our heads up are, you know what? It absolutely, I'm so proud of President Trump's efforts to stop China from taking over the world. That's their goal, folks. That is their goal. They've said it straight up. I know y'all know it. Again, Dame Piglet said it, and it's so true. We have got to stay on our local politicians. They're the ones down at that bottom level that if they get bought, the next one gets bought, the next one gets bought, the next is just like Anthony was talking about how to get these guys to turn over turn state's evidence, if you will. Two more things, and then we'll go to the book. Death penalty. Pam Bondi wants the death penalty for that murderer who on tape, we can call him a murderer. We don't even have to say alleged, I don't think, because it's right there on camera, who allegedly, to be safe, murdered that man who was the healthcare guy. Not saying names, obviously, on purpose. And she has said, yeah, I'm going for the death penalty. Absolutely. 100%. It's about time. If there's no consequence for your behavior, then there is no reason to behave, is there? I still, I'll quote my mom again. She was a school teacher. She was teaching in the 50s, and she was teaching at the time that they took the 10 Commandments off the wall and took prayer out of school. But when they took the 10 Commandments off the wall, she said, I have to teach my kids they cannot steal. I can no longer teach them why. I just love how she said that. All right. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has gone after the Sinaloa cartel. He has said that economic security is national security. They're back in Louisiana. The prisoners. The prisoners are being held in Louisiana. You're right about that. And I bet they are. You know what? Y'all got some good cops down there. I know one of them, as a matter of fact. She's retired now, but she was a good cop for many, many years. Yeah, those prisoners are in Louisiana. The 10 Commandments. Oh, there's a prison down there too, right? Right. There's a prison down there too. Yeah, the 10 Commandments are back on the wall in Louisiana school. That is so amazing. That is so awesome. Prayer works, prayer works. And then cleaning the swamps. G.I. Jose has tell the prisoners to clean the swamps. Well, we are trying to clean that swamp, aren't we, G.I. Jose? We are all together in our own little way, doing our own thing, trying to clean up the swamp. No doubt. Oh, all right. That was it for this. So if you guys want to hear from the book a little bit, let's just start it over since I got an audience here. And the last one, I went way too fast. But again, I got permission from this guy. I came across this book. I'm going to do the introduction too. What the heck? Y'all tell me if this is too boring. Please let me know in the chat because I will definitely do something else. I think Cruz had to leave us and go on that run. Cleaning up Nutri-Rat poop. Oh, I love it. That is so funny. G.I. Jose. Few subjects in American life are so thoroughly mystified, so completely surrounded by a myth of incomprehensibility. Troy knows. You are so right about that. He's a swamp rat. So thoroughly mystified, so completely surrounded by a myth of incomprehensibility as the United States Constitution. Oh, Cruz is still with us. Yay! I'm glad you're still with us, hon. From its earliest days, its exponents, chiefly lawyers and judges. What does exponents mean, guys? I suppose that means writers or expositors, people who talked about it. From its earliest days, its exponents, chiefly lawyers and judges, but with the helping of other politicians, journalists, and authors of various kinds therein, have trained the people at large. Here we go, guys. Have trained the people at large to believe that only the few, the specially trained elite, can understand it. Now, isn't that interesting? Let's talk about that for a second. From its earliest days, the Constitution, people, chiefly lawyers and judges, and politicians and journalists and authors of various kinds have trained us to think that we can't understand the Constitution. Well, if we can't understand it, we sure as hell can't follow it, can we? That just pisses me off, guys. It just pisses me off. Buy this book. Or look it up online. I am loving this book. I loathe legalese speak. Yeah, no kidding, right? No kidding. I can't understand it, G.I. Jose. I cannot understand legalese. I've tried to read the Federalist Papers, and my brain just does this. I cannot get it. But let's do this together. If court rulings interpreting the Constitution defy common sense, well, that must be because common sense is so common. Okay. In introductory lessons about America's federal government, here you go, guys. This is very interesting. Students are introduced to the ideas of republicanism, limited government, and federalism. I remember that. Do y'all remember that? Republicanism refers to a system in which policymakers are chosen through popular elections. Limited government and federalism are simply two sides of the same coin. I agree with that. They are different ways of understanding a system in which the states came first, delegated some carefully, the states came first, then they delegated some carefully enumerated powers to a central government and retained the rest for themselves. That's how it's supposed to work, isn't it, guys? That's exactly how it's supposed to work. Is that how it's working now? I know with Trump in office and the team he has assembled around him, we have got the best shot ever to clean this up. But we're still in trouble, guys. And I don't mean to be a negative Nancy. I just want to scream from the rooftops. We cannot let down our guard. We cannot let down our guard. And I feel it more strongly than ever that the danger is closer than perhaps we're giving it credit to be. And maybe it's because we really are winning. And the forces arrayed against us are so evil and so prevalent, so big, so what's the word for enormous? Do you know what I mean? So all encompassing. This really does come down to good versus evil, doesn't it? It really does. I've also got my Bible sitting right there. If y'all want to hear some verses, we can do that in a heartbeat. Yep, it's supposed to be that way, but too few people realize that now. Piggy do. How do we get the people to realize it? How do we, I'm flashing my glasses all over, sorry, y'all. How do we get the general public to realize how important this is? We all know the big answer is education. Start with the youngins. Yeah, we get that. We understand that, and we know that's crucial, and it's begun. I believe it's begun. I joked around on Twitter the other day to Judge Janine, as a matter of fact, or her people, whatever. I'm thinking about starting a parent class, because if these people don't grow up, how can they raise children? They're not growing up themselves. You know, the people are not grown up. They're immature as hell. Ooh, I'm cussing now. Look at me, just cussing. I'm running out of words. All right. How are we going to get the people to realize how important it is, that what self-governance is? How are we going to, we've got to make that word popular. We've got to make self-government a popular word and a popular idea. Everything begins with an idea, right? Every movement, everything begins with an idea. What is it? Invention is the mother. Oh, necessity. Necessity is the mother of all inventions. Well, right now we have a necessity to get this stuff straightened out, don't we? All right, let's go back to the book for a minute. I'm spitting all over the place. Goodness gracious. All right. Okay, but in what sense is our federal government limited? What remains of the idea that power over almost all significant issues is retained by the states? The conservative mantra, I'm back to the chat, guys. The conservative mantra is respect for life, respect for the Constitution, less government, and personal responsibility. So well said. You are absolutely 100% right, Anthony. Anthony Mark, you get a big heart and 100%. You are so right. Man, let's do that again, guys. Let's read it. The conservative mantra is respect for life, respect for the Constitution, less government, and personal responsibility. How in the world do we get from here to there, from where we are right now to there? Yeah, I love that, man. Target, right on target. So I may pin that, my friend. I may pin that to the channel by Anthony Mark. You know, let's talk about that for a minute instead of this book for a second. Respect for life. So we're pro-life. We're respect for all life. And that's why it was so offensive when they kept calling us racist. We weren't racist at all. We respect all life. That is one of our principles. It's why we're pro-life. We respect all life. Respect for the Constitution. Why? Why do we respect the Constitution? Because it's probably the best document ever written to run a government. The best document. Read the 5,000 year leak, guys. Read it. It is freaking amazing. Less government. Why do we want less government? Power to the people, right? What happens when the government gets big? Well, we're seeing it happen right now. We're watching it. We're seeing it happen. Sorry, guys. And personal responsibility. Oh my God, Anthony Mark, you are so on target. Okay, we got some more chats here. Teenager said this on the Mike Huckabee show in 2009. Did he really? Wow. I wonder where that fella is now. Conservatives from G.I. Jose, conservatives aren't afraid of change. We just want to analyze what change they want and see if it's good for the majority with minimizing harm for all. That's right on target as well. We're not afraid of change at all. Change is a good thing. Necessity is the mother of invention. Change is a great thing. The founding fathers anticipated so many contingencies. It's truly amazing. So right about that, Anthony Mark. So right. Yeah, if you don't have a judicial tyranny or an executive tyranny or a legislative tyranny, if you keep the co-equal branches of government co-equal, then we will have freedom. We will have personal responsibility. We will have the best opportunity for personal responsibility, right? Man, this is just so amazing. I have to go write that down. Hey, Anthony Mark, would you please tweet that out? Would you please tweet that today so I can save it? And I want to write it down. That is so amazing. Guys, it is 7:22. This is so fun. I'm having such a ball. I'm so glad to see you here, Piggy, and Cruz. Oh, y'all are just awesome. G.I. and Anthony. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Anthony Mark said, yes, he will tweet it. Thank you. Guys, I think I'm going to have to wrap it up. We've been going almost an hour, and my body is telling me it's time. It's kind of hurting, starting to cramp up a little bit here, and I'm getting my thoughts. But I'll do another show here real soon with this guy. I finally got the MRI approved. So now if I can get the injections, this pain should go away, and I should be okay again. And once that happens, I'll get back to posting again. Thanks, Cruz. Catch you another time too. I'm sorry, I'm cutting it short just a little bit from an hour. Hang on, G.I. Jose, I did a study in college. I found out that when we minimized God in our country started to decline. I'll say something a little controversial about that too. God said in his word, I will bless those who bless thee and curse those who curse thee. I will bless anyone who blesses Israel and the Jews, and I will curse anyone who doesn't. And if you look through history, if you start going back all the way through history, every society that came after Israel ended up in trouble, and every society that blessed them ended up blessed. And Harry Truman was the first to accept Israel in 1948. No matter what you feel about Israel, any of that stuff, set all that stuff aside for a moment and look at the facts. We have been one of the most blessed nations in the world ever. And we blessed Israel. And then we started turning against it. We started telling them to break up their land. And a lot of stuff started happening, didn't it? All right, guys. Thank you. So Piggy says she's going to pray. Thank you. I'll be gone for over a week, but I'll check back as soon as possible. Have safe travels wherever you're doing, whatever you're doing, Piggy do. I just love seeing you here. I miss you, girl. I love our chats. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment. And I will see you guys next week, if not sooner. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here. I am going to have to sign off now. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. End stream. There we go. End. Bye.